Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And on this very quiet morning here on the Homestead, I decided you all that I would come to you all with this video early this morning and share with you another very important ingredient when it comes to baking your homemade loaves of bread. Okay, now you all, I will say this is a sponsored video by Azure Standard. But as you know, I am always talking about Azure Standard and their products and how much I love their products, you all. And actually, I've met so many of you out at the pickup when we go to the drop to pick up our items that we've purchased. I see so many of you out there as well. So it lets me know that I'm not the only one in this area that absolutely loves purchasing items from Azure Standard. For us, it's very convenient. We only have to do it, every so often when you buy in bulk. That way, it's not like you have to go to the grocery store every single week, and I love that, right? I love that. So you all, today's ingredient that you absolutely must have when you are baking your homemade loaves of bread, you all, is boom. That's right. That's right. You are going to need some yeast. That's right, you all. Now, this right here is a 5-pound bag of yeast. Like, you need 5 pounds? Yeah. Yes, I do, Now, for us, when I think about buying product for us, I think about purchasing items like this that will last me for at least a year, okay? And so when I get a 5-pound bag like this, I will not leave it in this bag. Actually, I put this in jars. Make sure if you use a jar that it is freezer safe, okay? But I put it in jars and I put it in my deep freezer. And when you put yeast in your deep freezer or in the back of your refrigerator freezer, it extends the life of the yeast by several years from my experience. So if you purchase some yeast and it expires a year from now or 2 years from now, and that's only from putting it maybe in your refrigerator, or I never recommend putting it in the cabinet, even though you can. I've never really recommended doing that. I always think that refrigeration is best for your yeast if you want to extend the life. But imagine putting it in the deep freeze. It extends it even further. Okay, you all? So this 5 pounds of yeast, I'm going to be breaking this down and getting it in a jar, freezer safe canning jar. And I will be putting that in my freezer, and anytime I need it, I just go to my freezer. Now, I have one of those little yeast jars that I used to buy a long time ago. I never got rid of it. I think it was the Fleischmann's in the little jar like so. Well, that jar is perfect for the refrigerator. So what I did was I just took the label off and then I put my own label on there, letting me know exactly what it was on the inside, just in case I decided to change it up. But in any case, I just put a little label on there with the yeast on it and the date that I put it in the refrigerator. And anytime I need to refill it, that's all I do is I just go back and re-add the yeast to my little jar. You can do the same thing with your ball canning jars as well. The little half pints, or what is the other one? You got the 12-ounce jelly jars. You can use that. But the reason why I use that old Fleischmann's jar is because it's that amber color. It's a dark color, right? Because you don't want the light to get at your yeast either. And so putting it in something dark, if you're going to be constantly going in and out of the refrigerator, putting it in a darker type of a container will be best for the yeast to last, okay? So you all, this right here is 5 pounds, but of course they do have this available in different sizes. You know, you don't have to get a 5-pound bag because Mrs. H did, you know. But if you're trying to get yeast to last you for a while, then yeah, you can choose 5 pounds. Okay. So you all, that's what I have done. In fact, it's just about time for me to open this bag because this is my second bag right here. So the other one I have already discarded. Well, the bag actually, because the little jar, all I have left is actually in that jar. Okay. So this bag right here, I'm going to be opening it soon once I can get kitchen again. I talked to y'all about that in yesterday's video when I shared with you all the Vital Wheat gluten, right? And the importance of using Vital Wheat gluten. And so many of you didn't even know that something like that existed. And yes, it does. Yes, it does. And you can get that Vital Wheat gluten along with your active dry yeast. You can get them all from Azure Standard. Yes, you can. So you all, what I'm going to do is in the description box of this video, I'm going to put a link to Azure Standard along with a discount code, because right now you can get a discount using the code Homestead Heart 10. Okay, you all, and also we have just a standard link that you can use to shop with Azure Standard using our link. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it does help our homestead. Okay, so you all, that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to talk to you all about the active dry yeast, and it smells good too. I know it's weird, but I like the way the yeast smells. So you all, that's going to do it for this video. I actually posted this on our Instagram page as well this morning, just kind of letting you all know that I was going to be talking about this yeast on today. Okay, so now what I use this for, other than just like baked whole wheat breads, you can also use this in your yeast bun. It's so many different recipes that you can use this in, right? Even in your cinnamon, if you bake cinnamon rolls or honey buns or something like that, you're going to want to use some yeast. It's going to give it a great rise if you, of course, proof the yeast properly. Okay, you don't want to put really hot water in yeast. That temperature needs to be just right so you don't kill the yeast, and the water can't be too cool or it won't activate, right? So you want to make sure that you're using the right amount of yeast for your recipes. Don't overdo it. I've seen sometimes people don't even measure. They just take the container and dump a little in and they go from there. But you don't want to put more yeast in your baked breads than the recipe calls for. Okay, just make sure that you proof this yeast properly. I like to use honey when I'm proofing my yeast in warm water, right? And that temperature, I don't remember the temperature, but when I share my bread recipe, I have it written down. I will share it with you there as well. The temperature that works for me, I think it's like 100 degrees or, I don't know, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But you all, wait a minute, it may be on the bag. Hold on. Let me get my glasses so I can see. Wait a minute. No, it didn't say that. It didn't talk about that. I think that's Bud at the door, because I let him out to use the bathroom, and I think I hear him at the door whining. He always be at the door like, let me in this house. So, but anyway, you all, just make sure that when you purchase your yeast, make sure you store this yeast properly if you want it to last long. And then, of course, when you get ready to use it in your bread recipes, you want to make sure that you properly proof your yeast as well. Because if you do not do that properly, trust me, your dough will not rise. And then you'll be stuck with a flat, hard loaf of bread. Okay? So you do want the yeast to be measured properly and the right temperature during proofing. Okay? All right, you all. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, you all, and you want to start making your own homemade bread, trust me, that is coming. I am actually gathering everything to share with you all right now, what I use in my bread to share with you the products that I get from Azure Standard, sharing those products with you so you will know what I use when I am baking bread, okay? And so in the next video, we're going to talk about another ingredient that I use when I am baking freshly made bread, all right? So you all stay tuned for that. All right, and that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that we upload to our channel. Share our videos if you think someone else would find this information helpful. All right, thank you all so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Get your yeast, you all, and I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Okay, I'm coming, boo. I'm coming.